Hi guys, this is video 7. We are up to working with graphics on the form in the database file. What I have open in front of me is the folder that contains all of the different files that I'm currently using for my database, and you'll also notice that there are a couple of JPEGs here. Now, these JPEGs, they represent the favorite food graphics that are actually going to go into the database, and they've been named Food 1 for Student 1, Food 2 for Student 2, and Food 3 for Student 3. Obviously, when you're working with graphics, you will need to have access to those images. They would need to be either downloaded or captured from a camera and actually situated in a directory with the database so that they can be accessed and then brought into the database when you're working with the form. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the student database, and this time I want to go straight into the form. And you'll notice from last video we have our next buttons working and our previous button working, so we can use those buttons for navigating. There is the graphic from the previous video as well, my little icon, and this video is really just about inserting graphics into the favorite food field. Now, going back a little bit, you'll remember that when we first created the table and we were constructing the fields, this particular field is an OLE object, which is basically just a container of binary information. And one of the things that we can put in there is a graphic. Okay, so this task requires us to toggle between two different programs. We actually need to embed the graphic into this field, and we can only do that in the form view. It gets stored in the table, but you obviously can't see it in the table for obvious reasons. The table only shows you text-based information. But I'll step through the process and I'll highlight that. Okay, so looking at this form, I have 3 records. If I go to my first record, this is Test Student 1. If I go to the next record, Test Student 2, third record, Test Student 3. Currently, none of the students have their favorite food graphic embedded. So what I'll do is go back to Test Student 1. I'm in the data view, so I'm ready to enter this information. What I need to do is right-click in this window, and I need to go down to Insert Object. Insert Object. Now, when I select Insert Object, Microsoft Access gives me a list of available file types that I can insert into that particular file. And it ranges PowerPoint presentations, Excel spreadsheets, quite a range of options. Now, the one that we want to insert is a bitmap image. Now, going right back to year 9, a bitmap image is simply an image where all of the pixels are stored in memory. None of the vector-based information is kept. So what we'll do is select bitmap image, and it launches Microsoft Paint, which is our default bitmap editor, and we're going to go straight across to the paste menu and paste from. Paste from. Now what that does, it allows us to then go and look for a graphic that we have stored on our computer somewhere. Now you might remember at the beginning of this video, I had in my folder some JPEGs. Food 1, Food 2, and Food 3. So that's what I'm going to look for now. There's Food 1. Now it's quite a large graphic. I haven't gone through the process of making them any particular size in Photoshop, so that picture is quite large, but that's okay. I'll save that, and then I'll close this program down. Now you'll notice that graphic is now in the form. So that's what I wanted. If I go to the design view of this particular form, I can manipulate the physical size of that box. Okay, so I could tidy that up just a little bit. hit save and go back to the data view, and you'll notice that that graphic is situated in there. If I go to the next record, it obviously disappears because I'm up to the next record in the database. If I go to the previous record, it's there. So I'm going to move through that whole process again for you. Go to the next student, right click, insert object, bitmap image. I wait for Paint to open. I select paste from, and then I need to go in and find food 2, it will be this time. Save and close that down, so it's there. Don't worry too much about the white space. The only way to alleviate that is to set the physical size of this window and then modify all of your graphics in Photoshop to match it, which obviously makes it look better, but for the purposes of this video, just putting them in as they appear is fine. One last time, I will go to next record, right click, insert object, bitmap image, wait for Paint to open, paste from, drill down and find my graphic. Okay, save and close down. Alright, so now my database is now populated with some graphical information as well as text-based information. If I save this change, what I would like to do is just close this form down and draw your attention back to the table. You'll notice that in this column, it simply says that there is a bitmap graphic being held in the table. The binary information contained is all being stored in each of those fields, but it's not until you load the form that you can actually see it. So hopefully that makes sense. The information is there, but you can't view it in its table form. So I'll just close those down. And at this point in time, we have covered all of the skills that we need to actually create and populate the database with information. So in the next videos, we go into the more complex tasks of querying and reporting. So thanks for watching.